Welcome into Rxan Talkin Texans episode 2. This episode 2 has been a little overdue, but we've been waiting for the league to start up. Amid other things, I was going to bring you a preseason game, but file got corrupted on my recording of that, unfortunately, so I don't have none of that saved. But let's get right into this. So we are about to head to week 1, and as you could tell by the title, we have pulled off a deal that I feel was a very good trade for us in this Rxan Talkin Texas episode 2. So we ended up trading Deshaun Watson, and I felt like this was a move that needed to be done to start and complete, get the rebuild started, end the prior window of winning and success that Houston has had the past couple of seasons, with everybody pretty much being gone besides Zach Cunningham and Justin Reed and Laramie Tunsil. I mean, those are about the only three guys that are left. Maybe even Brandon Cooks, but he was part of last season's debacle, which has all led to where we currently sit here heading into week 1 of the 2021 season. We are going to be cracking out these videos after every week now, so now that the league's up and going, we should be on a little bit better schedule here. But as we get into this, man, let's take a look at what we got for Deshaun Watson, man. So we ended up sending Miami 2 fourths and Deshaun Watson. And that is a misprint. I mean, that fourth is actually 2 seasons out in 2023, not 2 this year. But what do we get back from Miami? We got Tua. So at worst case scenario, we got our starting QB of the future. At best case scenario, at best case scenario, we got our starting QB of the future. At worst case scenario, we took a shot at a QB. And this team isn't as bad as I had originally anticipated, but it's nowhere near ready. But let's get into the bulk of what we got, man. We got 3 first-rounders and a third. So it really looks like we're going to be playing for 2 years from now after that 2023 draft class, where we're now getting an influx of 3 picks. That includes 2 firsts and a third. But we should get our first, which I would like to think would be high, and Miami's first, which I think could range anywhere, really. So we're looking pretty good to start there. In the background now, after these little graphics pop up, I do have a little bit of training camp videos to rocking the Texans jersey. We do see a little bit of Davis Mills in there to kind of see what he can do. I'm just going to let that play in the background while I kind of talk about the team. So, man, it's done. The rebuild is officially started. We are going into season 1 here. Let's just start off, now that we've got the trade out of the way, let's start off with we didn't really have any surprising cuts. I would say the only guy who I think definitely, was not a misstep, but a guy that I really would have liked to have would have been Terrence Brooks, a safety. The rest of it was a lot of just depth guys that we ended up cutting that week. So, as we head into week 1. And so let's just take a look at who we got on the roster heading into week 1 here, so we can kind of talk about the QB room first here, where we have Tua, Tyrod, and Davis. And I feel bad for Tyrod because he was probably going to be the starter if this trade didn't get pulled off before the preseason started, before preseason was over. So now we got Tua in the building, and he's going to be our starter heading into week 1. So that's it for the QB room. And the running back room, we got David Johnson, Phillip Lindsay, and Mark Ingram. And the game plan, I think, there from talking to head coach David Coley, is Phillip Lindsay is going to be our main horseback on first and second down. David Johnson will play third downs, and then Mark Ingram's going to play in any heavy package for that. We have 5 wide receivers on the roster: Brandon Cooks, Danny Amendola, Anthony Miller, Chris Conley, and then the rookie Nico Collins, who I'm kind of hoping can surge the depth chart before we start week 1 here, kind of get some big reps. But as we hit the tight end room, we got Jordan Akins, Pharaoh Brown, and Brevin Jordan. And Brevin Jordan has been balling in camp and in preseason, so I think he's if he's not the day 1 starter, he's going to be taking over pretty soon for Akins. At left tackle, we got Laramie Tunsil and Garon Christian. Obviously, we got big Tunsil, stout man over there. So we move on to left guard. We got Max Sharping, not as solid at the left guard spot, with Hajolti Froholt backing him up. At center, we got Justin Britt coming over from Seattle. He's going to be solid for us in the interior with Cole Toner backing him up. At right guard, we got Lane Taylor, Another question mark heading into the season for our offense. And Justin McCray backing him up. At right tackle, we're going to be starting Marcus Cannon and Titus Howard as his backup. But I realistically think I could probably get Titus Howard maybe see him playing some time at guard this season while Cannon solidifies that right tackle spot for us. This offense, I'm not really knowing what to expect from us this year, which is kind of a little scary, but also a little good. We could have some breakout candidates here. So, and more than likely, Brandon Cooks, I'm looking at his contract right now. If he plays well, he could be, a trade deadline acquisition for some team. If he's balling out, only 2 years left on his deal. So I think if he plays well, could be a guy somebody comes and get at the deadline if maybe an injury or something happens there. So move on to the defense. At our edge rusher, we got Jordan Jenkins and Jonathan Grenard at our left end spot. At our right end spot, we got Whitney Merciless, the old man of the room, DeMarcus Walker, and Jacob Martin there. So a little bit of an interesting edge room. Not a lot of potential besides maybe Grenard. He's about the only guy here that I could see maybe trying to be a key piece on this edge room. Other than that, it really needs an overhaul. And then at D-tackle, we got Malik Collins, Vincent Taylor, and then Omenahue and Blaylock are two guys who I'm really looking forward to seeing if they take steps forward. I know Collins and Taylor are probably being on a lot of the rundowns, but those two young guns there, I'd love to see get some third down, pass rush interior snaps, and see what they can do with it. So in our linebacker room, at left outside linebacker, we got Kevin Pierre-Louis, who played really solidly last year, and we gave him a 1-year contract to come over here from Washington and be a good third down sub linebacker for us. He's great in pass coverage, so let's look for him to continue that. Our middle linebacker, we got Kirksey and Grugier Hill, two guys who are up there in their 27 and 29 years old for Kirksey and Grugier Hill. Just solid veteran guys there. And then at right outside linebacker, we got Zach Cummingham, and we know what we get from him. So it's really not that bad of a linebacker room, all things considered there. So as we look at the cornerback room, which is obviously a big weakness of this team, besides Desmond King, but he's only going to be in the slot. So at our boundary corners, we're going to be starting Terrence Mitchell and Jimmy Moreland. Yeah, and then after them, we got Crayvon LeBlanc, Vernon Hargraves, and Isaiah Johnson out of Houston is a guy I have some high hope for. He is 25, which is a little scary, but he's only been in the league for 2 years, and he's got really some solid potential for us at that corner position. 6'2", 210, speedy guy. He's got some potential there, so I'm looking forward to see what he can bring for us this season. See if he can find his way on the field if, Mitchell or Moreland go down, or if they're just not playing well, man. So, at the free safety, this is another goon. We got Justin Reed, 24 years old. This kid is special out there at the safety spot. So we're going to be relying on him a lot in that middle third to hold down the rest of the corners because I don't know what to expect from them. So then at strong safety, converted corner Lonnie Johnson going to be slotting in there with Eric Murray being his backup. Both solid guys there. Not really any too much to talk about with those guys. Besides Lonnie Johnson, definitely a guy who could make some plays for us and keep his starting spot, but more than likely not. So it's tough looks. But yeah, so that's kind of it for the team heading into week 1. Let's kind of just divulge more here into the Deshaun Watson to a trade, how that all came about. So, we were looking to shop Deshaun because we had realized the writing was on the wall. He wasn't going to play for us. There was no point in keeping him on the team. And so, we shopped him, and we got a few offers from Carolina, Washington, and then Miami. And they were very intriguing offers, from all three teams. But going into the final minutes of that decision, there it was really down between the football team and Miami just appealed a little bit more. So that's where we decided to send him. really get some youth and, we're getting 3 firsts and a third and Tua. I mean, in the worst case scenario, we might be able to ship Tua off for a second or something, if everything goes as badly as, most may think. But, I think we can pull out some wins this year. And I think as long as Tua plays his part, I definitely could see him getting the job maybe going into next year too. So, it's not rushing anything, we're just playing all of our options out. David Culley's talked about how excited he is to get Tua in here and work with him, and so I just think I think we're moving in the right direction with this trade. As much as we probably downgraded at quarterback from Deshaun to Tua. We're looking for some lefty luck here. It's gonna be a interesting ordeal, and we're just looking forward to seeing what we can produce this year. Like I said, these Rxan Talkin Texans videos are going to be coming out weekly once the season gets rolling. So at the end of every game, and I'm hoping that we don't have any more corruptions with our recorded games, so I can cut them up and you guys can see the highlights and we can talk about it afterwards. So that's it, man. Going to be a long year. Definitely don't see us, even competing for a playoff spot. So it's going to be a long year, but, it's all about the grind, man. So thank you guys for listening and watching to Rxan Talkin Texans. This looks to be a fun year, so I'm excited. Hope you